downtown Melbourne, waiting in line at Loon to get basically croissant coffee. They have really famous croissants. I think the story is that the owner used to be an aerospace engineer and like set out to make the perfect croissant and kind of went crazy. Super good, very excited. But just got off the tram at Flinders Street, and there's like St. Paul Cathedral. I think it's St. Paul. So beautiful. I'm a sucker for cathedrals. I'll be going to the Immigration Museum after this. They open at 10. It's about 9:15 right now. And then from there at 11:45, I join a tour, and we're gonna go down to Phillip Island, see the penguins, and that'll take me to like 9 p.m. So good. I got a ham and cheese and just a normal one. It's so flaky. That's so good. We have the ham and cheese. It's pretty solid. It's just like got a little open pocket. I really like that. Look at that little perfect latte art. This little latte is also so good, like better than most lattes I have from real coffee places. I'm walking around and it's just so beautiful, so I'm just gonna be throwing some little videos and photos. I really feel like I'm coming into my own with walking around in the central business district at this point, and that is really what I love so much about solo traveling. It's getting to feel a sense of independence and like I'm making my own out of my surroundings. So now we've arrived to the Immigration Museum. Right now, this is footage from the second floor, which had a joy exhibit. This exhibit had a few immersive pieces representing and communicating how we can find beauty and joy and just the simple things of life. There's also a wall where you can write something that brings you joy. There is also an identity exhibit on this floor, which I quite liked. I really find intersectionality to be so interesting and an important part of DEI. It really just builds so much perspective to learn and see the different components to a person and their identity and how it shapes the life that they've lived. The upper floor I found a lot more interesting. The first floor is more of the like traditional kind of historical facts and stories, timeline of it all. We have boarded the bus off to see some penguins. Here we are just driving through the countryside with lots of farming and livestock. You can see the Great Dividing Range in the distance. It's actually the longest continuous range in one country. So we have about another hour until we actually get to the bay and then Phillip Island. Here you can see a bit of the Western Port Bay, and in the center there's the French Island. 3/4 of that is national park. Now you can see us approaching the bridge to Phillip Island. The whole island is only 10 minutes to drive across, so we're just headed up to the little town called Cowes on the other side. We are getting fish and chips from a little place called Nat's. Mayo, yeah. But while I was waiting, which was only like 10 minutes, I walked around. I got like a little magnet and a couple postcards. Oh, and also I stopped and got a bookstore. I got a little book for my niece and my nephew. When I was in Germany, I got them like a little book about the solar system from the planetarium. So I think that's gonna be my little thing for them as I'm traveling, just getting them little books from other places. So this is where I'm sitting and I'm gonna eat. It's such a nice little view. But in my meal, fish of the day, calamari, dim sum, and small chips. Like, I might have fed one of them, and now there's just a ton of them around me. Not my favorite. I've had fish and chips like once before, but that was in Germany, and I don't know, it just wasn't great. So I am in a koala and like wildlife sanctuary. I'll insert some footage, but it is just so beautiful, and there are little koalas in the trees, just like, you know, chunky, happy, and sleeping. Seeing the little kangaroos like hop is so cute. On this first boardwalk, there were a few koalas, but they were primarily sleeping and not super visible. I really appreciate the fact that this sanctuary is focused primarily on providing a proper habitat for all the animals, and then we just get to observe it all. It's so beautiful here. Like, I feel like I can't stop saying that enough about this country. Everything just feels so surreal, and this outlook really showcases their natural habitat so well. So as we went on to the second boardwalk, there were some more koalas, but this time with better visibility and some activity, just munching on some eucalyptus leaves, sitting in a little pair on a branch together. Still a little mellow, but very cute. And then I took some photos. We went back onto the big loop, and it's a bit hard to see, but there's a wallaby in the bush. I just caught the beginning of him hopping away. When I first saw it, I was kind of caught off guard. Like, I knew they did it, but actually seeing it was kind of wild. These are southern kangaroos, so wallabies, and they're a bit smaller, more passive. And here in a second, I just got the end of him hopping away. And then there's this little curlew enclosure. They're just like a ground-dwelling bird. Now we are driving up to Summerland Beach. It has the Navi Center and a beautiful lookout. So in the 80s, there was a whole like conservation project. Basically they kicked like 200 people out of their homes and like gave the land back to the wildlife. So there were originally like 10 to 15,000 penguins, and now there's 35 to 40,000, but it's the largest colony of the like little smallest penguins, and they're the only ones that have blue feathers on their back and a bright white tummy. I'm learning so much from this tour guide lady. She's wonderful. We love Fiona. Just a little lookout from the sanctuary area. It's so beautiful. We're at the penguin parade area, and I couldn't help myself. I got ice cream. I'll go sit down in like 20 minutes. It's a little chilly. I probably should have worn a better jacket. I just wore a sweater. I figured, I'm from Ohio. It gets cold. It's still a little chilly. We are walking out on the boardwalk to go to the viewing area for the penguin parade. This is the viewpoint for the little Penguin Plus area. So because it was quite dark, I didn't get much video or photos or anything of the penguins actually coming out of the water and like onto the beach, walking past us. So I'm gonna see if I can find any of like their videos to show you. They had a few photos on their website, and I took these videos. There was some brush on my left that some pairs came out of and said hi. Then they came out of the ocean, walked up into the bush in front of us. Once the first penguin is sighted, we get 50 minutes outside, and they wrap it up and tell everyone to leave. So to the right of the boardwalk is what they call the Penguin Highway. They walk along here in groups, and some of them will go up to 2 kilometers
to their burrow inland, so they often stop and rest on the way because it's a long journey. It's just so interesting to see because they spend 80% of their lives in the ocean, then just come up for a little nap.
It was wild. Like, there was about 4 or 5 batches of like at least a couple hundred each of penguins just and usually like it's normal for there to only be 200 total in one night. So like yesterday they had 2,600. So I'm really curious to see what the number is because it was a lot of penguins.